guest today, a drummer, a sound engineer, and then an IT expert, and a very well qualified expert at that. Please meet Pete Matheson.
Oh.
Pete, welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's awesome.
How was your flight?
It was a bit choppy. It's quite sunny in here, isn't it?
Yeah. So, as I just said there just now, musician, IT. You know, what got you? What about the music first?
Yeah.
Where did that start? How did that start?
So, I've always been musical. My whole family's been musical. I've played the cornet. So it started off, I played the cornet when I was very, very young.
Right.
Went to do trumpet when I was in secondary school. At the same time, I was learning drums, and I played drums since I was 3 years old.
Wow.
Literally like pots and pans and that
Wow.
kind of thing.
Wow.
Went on to do that for many, many years, and kind of the trumpet got left to the side as I had more fun hitting things, as people do. And started doing a band, and we were doing pretty well, and played a lot of gigs. And then obviously work then kind of
I
took
know
off
a
from
band
there.
that's looking for a drummer, by the way.
Really?
Yes.
I might be interested, actually. I'm looking at getting back into it again. It's very much, I get so busy doing the work stuff now that I'm kind of thinking about doing it again. But
So work stuff. Techers, IT.
Yes.
How did that come about?
So I always thought I'd start my own company eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously started skilling up and doing all my qualifications and things. And throughout the years, the most recent one, I joined TaylorMade Community Solutions, who are obviously a big local company. And
Cut the pun out.
and worked there for quite a few years and skilled up on there. And I always remember joining TaylorMade and then going, I don't need to start my own company again. You know, these guys have got it. They've got it nailed. And then I worked there for a bit longer, and they grew and became more corporate, which is fine. You know, each their own direction. And I remember at that point, I was like, actually, maybe starting my own business is a viable option. And it was funny because, one of the reasons for me leaving, or wanting to do my own thing, was I'd done a full day's work. I was then called out on call one evening to a power station, and the power station had a power cut.
All right.
Mind blown. How does a power station have a power cut?
Right.
I still don't understand
you go
that
to the next
day.
power station now and just
and get them to turn
back
it
up
a bit
the line and
So literally, so we went out to the power station, and we were literally there for the whole night, waiting for the power to come back on, and it's going to be 10 minutes, it's going to be half an hour. So we constantly waited for it to kind of come back so we can get everything working again.
Yeah.
And then came back on at 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. Went home, just about to go to bed because we'd been up for 24 hours. And then I got a phone call saying, well, when are you coming back in? Well, after I've slept for a bit, possibly, and then I might come in later today. And it was just then, and there was no thanks for staying up late, thanks, I know you weren't on call, but thanks for helping out. There's none of that. And so it was just, that was kind of one of the small things that made me think, actually, is there a better way
do your own
of doing
thing?
it?
And that was how long ago?
Would have been 8 or 9 years. Yeah, probably mid 2011.
And no looking back.
No, definitely not.
So, IT is obviously a very big thing, isn't it? Nowadays, because nothing works without it, does it?
No, it's a utility now, just like your electricity and gas, and everyone needs it, which is fortunate for me.
And you've also recently been setting up a bit of competition to Giant Leap, I hear. What brought that about then?
We're venturing into the realms of video and live streaming and podcasting and that whole kind of media thing. Marketing is quite a difficult thing. As most companies, you just kind of shoot in the dark quite a lot, and you just hope something's going to work. And obviously there are ways of tracking it.
Something sticks.
Exactly, yeah, very much so. And particularly around here, it's such a busy environment as an IT company. There are so many other IT companies around here. There's hundreds of networking events going on every single week, and it's just difficult to go to them all and stay on top of them. So we thought, let's try a bit of video marketing, basically. And my little kid watches a ton of YouTube videos, as some kids do, and you'll watch them, and they'll have like millions and millions of views, and there's 4-year-old kids earning like £5 million or $5 million a month. Absolutely nuts. So then just off the back of that, I then started watching kind of other more grown-up YouTube videos, and then realise actually there's this whole
Yeah.
YouTuber as a career for some people.
Yeah. Sure.
And just brought it on from there really. So started doing the YouTube videos myself, trying to get to trying to market ourselves to an online whoever's kind of on LinkedIn and Twitter and YouTube, trying to get people to come to us and see us, and hopefully have a much wider reach than just me going to an event.
And you touched on networking there. Do you find that you're having to do a lot of networking?
I want to do a lot. The difficulty is just trying to trade wanting to go to a lot of networking events with actually doing the job.
The job.
And you can spend all your whole week networking. If
I
you
know
could.
that one well. Yeah. So let's talk about electric car. What do you drive? Is it a Tesla?
So I've got a Tesla Model S.
Of course, it's a Tesla.
Has to be nowadays.
Okay. And
Jen
is up. There's so many skeptics, and
so it's a Tesla because they've got the charging network.
you've actually got the experience of one, so it's not like you're just selling it. It's not like
No.
How long have you had that one?
So I'm now on to my second one. It sounds really bad. It sounds like we've got too much money.
Your second electric
So
car.
we've got two Teslas in the company now.
Right.
Craig's got one. I've got one. I've had it for I think we're about 2.5 years in
Right.
to our cars now.
So you're probably more of an expert on these cars than people that are selling them and things.
Oh yeah.
So that
Yeah.
it would be nice to hear as a fairly long-term user.
Yeah.
Good, reliable, etc., all the stuff that converts somebody from a diesel or a petrol car to an electric car.
It's funny because the one thing that people always say is the driving petrol cars will be like, you can miss the engine noise, aren't you? You definitely don't. When you put your foot down and you disappear, you don't care about the noise. Actually, it's quite nice being kind of like whole silent but deadly. No, in terms of like the plus sides and the downsides, Tesla is the only make that have the charging network. If I didn't have a Tesla electric car, I couldn't get to half the places I need to get to. They've got chargers built around all the service stations, so you plug in and you just top up. It could be there 15 minutes, could be half an hour or so. Whereas all the other manufacturers have chargers that are like a third of the speed, half the speed, and you'll be sat there for a good hour and a half charging.
Now, this is ignorance on my part. I thought there was charging points and that was it. I didn't realise there was different ones for different cars. So Tesla has their own.
So Tesla were the first manufacturer to build their own charging network.
Right.
And they've got the market. They've basically got the market at the moment.
Yeah. And I noticed you saying there that you had to sit for, what sort of mileage do you get out of a battery,
cars,
shall we say?
Yeah, so the cars, generally nowadays, particularly on the Tesla side of things, they'll do anywhere between 200 or 300 miles to charge. And the question to ask yourself is, how often do you drive more than 200 miles in one day? Because I go home every night, I plug in, every time I wake up I've got a full tank of petrol.
So you don't see it as an issue?
No, not at all.
When you're...
And when I do long journeys, I go to Birmingham and back fairly often. There's a charging station on the way. I stop off and get breakfast or lunch. By the time it's actually finished charging before I finished eating, so
you're planning. You're planning it.
Yeah, a little bit of planning.
Okay. Well, you have to plan in any car if you're doing a long journey anyway, don't you? Okay. Well, that's quite a good sales pitch, I think. I'm with some of these people as well. I love the noise. But what?
You should have a drive in my car.
Well, I've been in an electric car.
Was it a Tesla?
No, it wasn't a Tesla, but I was still hugely impressed with the way this thing took off. I would think it was only a distant leaf or some such thing. And I thought, good God, the power in it. And of course, it's that thing, isn't it? When an electric motor starts spinning, it spins.
Yeah. There's no gear changes, it just goes.
So now, you also touched on the noise there and stuff. And it being quiet and everything, and I must say, where I live, the motorway causes a lot of noise, and I would love to see that all electric because. But however, that's not going to happen for some time. But I am one of those people who was almost knocked down by an electric car because I didn't hear it coming.
Oh, okay.
And not here on the beach, you understand. There's no cars here at all.
Well, it's quite noisy around here anyway. The
But
water and everything.
back at the office. There's, as you come in the entrance, there's a bit where pedestrians walk across all the time, and cars come round, and I literally stepped out in front of an electric car because I didn't hear it coming.
Yeah.
So at a point like that, the car is really down to the driver there.
Hugely. Yeah, you need to have a certain level of
now
awareness.
pedestrians should be looking, of course.
Yeah.
But that particular part is heavy pedestrian area, you
Yeah.
know, and any cars come through there, they're driving really slowly and really carefully.
Yeah.
So, whilst they should have been looking, there's a case to say that maybe I shouldn't have had to, but this car gave me the fright of my life. Totally silent.
Yeah. They are going to change that. I think there's legislations coming in to say that all electric cars have to make a noise.
A broom broom noise.
A brum brum noise, apparently.
Right.
So, you know, like some of the cars have the speakers on the inside that
Yeah.
fake noise, but something to that kind of ilk. But
Or maybe everybody's going to have to fit one of these big speakers and give it some boom boom ch ch.
I've seen some very funny.
So you hear them coming.
I would never dream of doing it myself. I've seen some very funny comments on the Facebook group for Tesla owners. Someone's put a doorbell in their bonnet, and they literally press the doorbell as a horn to get people to move out of the way. Which, that's just, I don't think I'd ever go down that road. But yeah, I've had situations where I've been following literally someone out walking their dog behind on like a dirt road, you know, cobblestones. You know, would have thought at least tyre noise would kind of make them aware. And I had to roll down my window and turn up the music before they then realised I was behind them, and then they got out of the way and I carried on.
It's not very becoming, is it, to roll down the window in a Tesla and shout, "Oi!"
No, very much so. And it's all about the driver's
Yeah,
awareness.
bloody
You know,
way.
every time I drive in a car park, I know that it's a quiet car. You have to pay extra like care and attention to
Yeah,
whoever's
yeah.
around you, really.
It's like all new inventions, isn't it?
Yeah.
There will always be the skeptics and everything, and it's all got to take time to change and everything. I do wonder what they're going to do with the cars of my youth that I loved, you know, that roared.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
what's
just,
gonna
it's just
happen
moving
to
on,
them.
isn't it? There's lots of people that, lots of places that aren't putting in car chargers, like hotels and things, aren't putting them in because they don't think it's going to happen, or, you know, it's just not there yet. And you can liken that to, do you still have like straw there for the horses?
No,
for days when you used to come in on horses, and it's just the world's moving on.
In my opinion, it's absolutely going to happen.
Yeah, and for the
What
better.
is happening.
The thing, electric cars. The thing for me is, I never moved onto it from an environmental point of view. I moved it onto it because it actually made financial sense to the company. Buying an electric car has tons
Yeah.
of tax incentives.
Yeah.
But now I've got one, I'm like, oh, actually, you can kind of improve the environment. And electric cars at the moment are the only form of transport that has the possibility to travel on 100% clean energy.
What about all the energy that's used to first make them, and then secondly to provide them with their
Yeah.
electricity and so on?
Yeah, there are. I'm not going to pretend I know everything. There are lots and lots of studies. The one thing that you do need to be very careful of is the lots of the deflammatory stuff that's trying to say it's a bad thing.
Always will be.
They're always, or lots of them are funded by big oil companies because they're trying to obviously stay in business and sell oil. But there are lots of publicly available, you know, papers, people who have done their research, and yes, it does cost a lot in energy to make them. There's certain, I think, the cobalt or lithium, the part that makes the battery, is quite a bad mining practice, but they're getting better. I think Tesla are trying to reduce, I think it's down to like less than 1% that's in every battery nowadays, so it's becoming less and less. And like I say, it's that they have the possibility to get there.
Yeah.
Whereas with diesels or petrols, it just never has the possibility.
They've
Once
run
it's
out
built,
of road,
they're
really,
continually
haven't
going to
they?
run on
Yeah.
that forever. Yeah.
Yeah, they've run out of road, whereas the Tesla, the electric car is still really in its infancy, but it's making a big impact, and it's happening. It's going to happen.
Yeah, the fact we're 10 years into electric car and we're already where we are with it. You know, my car gets software updates and it gets quicker, and they'll add features to it overnight, which is just awesome. It's nuts, but awesome.
The technology in general, I just think it's awesome. I'm a little bit older than you are, Pete, and and when I was but a lad, what I've seen development of technology since then to now is mind blowing.
Yeah.
And you start to wonder about your grandparents and things that 100 years ago, and you think,
like and things, yeah.
good God. But I remember being really, really tickled pink when they brought out a front-loading VCR player, because and the thing just came up and out and into my hand, and I just thought that was the nuts.
Instantly
And
filled with sandwiches.
I can remember discussions in the pub, and you don't even need to be in the house. You don't even need the telly on to record this programme. What?
Yeah.
And now
It's nuts how quickly it all comes on nowadays.
Yeah.
It's difficult to keep it, even from an IT company point of view, it's
Yeah.
difficult for us to
yeah.
keep ahead of the times, really.
Yeah. and a mobile phone was stuff of Star Trek. Pete, it's been an absolute delight having you on the
Thanks
show
for having
today.
One flight back.
Take some time out and go and chill on the beach
Enjoy
for
myself,
a bit, and come back and see us again soon.
I would do.
Thank you for watching On the Beach again, and yeah, watch out for this man. This man knows what he's talking about when it gets into IT and technical stuff and electric cars. Thanks for watching. Bye.